What's going on, boys and girls? It's been brought to my attention that my dear friend Harold Pizzarocket has been getting bodied, and he might need some coaching. He might not have asked for it, but here I am to analyze his set against GooGie because I know against his will this is actually what he really wants. So I'm gonna just casually go through the match, talk about things that I see, talk about things that he maybe could be doing better, any other observations. It might not be perfect, but we can talk about it in the comments. Anyone who has other things to add, any recommendations based off things that I've said, that's fine. Any corrections to stupid stuff that I've said, that's fine. Let's all just talk about it and go through it. So if it gets too long, I'll break it up into multiple parts because it is a half an hour set, but we'll see how we go. So if you want to see the raw footage, go to GooGie's channel, which is GooGie on YouTube. And without further ado, let's get started. So I've turned the game volume down quite a bit because we have commentary in the background, and I don't want that kind of going over the top of what I'm trying to say. So to start off, Harold, who's Pizzarocket, is playing not Gunslinger, yeah, Gunslinger Aaron Black. So probably, in my opinion, one of the better variations to deal with Kotal in terms of Aaron's variations, can zone. So long term, or throughout the match, basically, he's going to want to establish some distance and try to keep Kotal out because Kotal is one of the characters that has a hard time when he's getting zoned. So you've got tools like Caltrops and the Money Shot, all of which can deal with him really well because Kotal's most dangerous when he's in your face, and if you stop him running, then you're in a pretty good position. So let's go ahead and watch some of this match. So Googie goes on with the overhead, and the first little exchange we saw is the return counter poke game. So let's have a look. Oh, I'm so bad at finding times. So you see GooGie. Alright, so we see Harold uses down one, it's blocked, GooGie down one's back. So that little exchange is important for both players to think about for the rest of the duration of the match. So the behavior of the other player when their poke is blocked, observing what they're doing, what they tend to do, what their common reaction is, and we'll start to see that exact situation later on, and we'll see how Harold develops his, I guess, counterpoke metagame throughout the matches. So he goes straight back to counterpoke with 2-1, 2-2, which is good, and he just misses a punisher there, unfortunately. And now he's getting pressured by Kotal Kahn, which isn't the greatest for Aaron Black because his pokes aren't the fastest, so he can't deal with them. So just back here we saw another counterpoke situation. I think I've gone too far back, but that's fine. Gets opened up with the overhead this time. Now he's in the corner, which is absolutely devastating for him. There he got caught by Kotal Khan's plus frames. So I believe it's the 114 into the air throw is around +4. So if GooGie uses a down one straight after that, it's going to beat anything Harold has. So Harold should also be paying attention to that. If GooGie likes to down one after he gets the plus frames every time, then in the future that's information for Harold to say, all right, I can armor this because I know GooGie is going to be going for the guaranteed down one. All right, so counterpokes again, literally every time GooGie has blocked the down one. Uh, Pardon me. Every time he's blocked Harold's down one, he's returned with another down one. So this is stuff Harold should be looking to exploit. So he can even do things like reversal throw, even to deal with some of the counter pokes. And he gets impatient, obviously cornered by Kotal. Not the best situation, so he EX slides to try to get out. So if I was in his situation, I was super desperate to get out, and he didn't think that he'd be able to get up and jump, whatever. I would have tried to just raw slide to at least get the position exchange. So sometimes it's best to sacrifice around just to get out of the corner, especially against Kotal. But unfortunately, Harold used one of his bars to then be blocked and punished for it. So he tries to jump out there, which is good. Googie's aware of uh, Aaron's string, so he's not getting blown up, and he's counter poking afterwards because the sand grenade's not actually plus from memory. And again, now this is basically just standard Kotal Kahn pressure at this point. Don't know what that was. A missed input of some kind into money shot. So basically, Harold hasn't been able to establish that game plan that I was. So only just now he's starting to try to zone, and it's much, much too late. So big, I guess, disagreement with me for what Harold's doing, and maybe it's because he's less familiar with the gunslinger variation, and that's fine. Obviously, we have all have our own comfortable variations. I think Gunslinger actually deals with Kotal better than Outlaw does, personally, but at least he still has Caltrops, still has Low Grenade, so he still has some tools, but I think all in all, he was probably better off sticking with Gunslinger. But we'll see how he goes in this match. So GooGie opens up with an advancing string, so that's important to think about for future games as well. So this is the first time we've seen Harold start to use the command grab, and we can see that it's actually doing quite a good job. So it's an option that Harold has to be aware of that he can use in a few more situations to deal with GooGie. So on the wake up there, so if we just go back, on the wake up, GooGie understands that his wake ups easily beaten by jumps, all of his wake ups. So he jumps straight over because he fears that Harold will use meter to try and armor, which he does, it's a good read. And then GooGie blows him up for it. And see, he jumps again. He's trying to cover his options for the armor by just jumping. Which means that Harold will be able to wake up with like a throw, for example, wait, lay wake up, poke, anything like that. And now he's just being blown up by using normals at ranges he probably shouldn't be. So he probably wants to be a little bit more offensive. Because Kotal only has the overhead slash sword armor, which is good but not the greatest. So he can make some reads and try to bait out the armor for sure. So now he's got it in the corner. That's really, really good. He's got GooGie had one bar, so Harold should have been fearful of the wake up. And see, every time GooGie knocks him down, and notice it next time, GooGie knocks him down, then he jumps over. He might not hear because he's in the corner. He does anyway, that's fine. Cornering himself, I don't agree with that, but it worked. And competing at air is going to be hard for Aaron. Oh, almost a very good conversion from Harold. Down one, down one, down one. Again, I know it seems like nothing, but to anyone who's not as familiar with the game, these small exchanges with the counter pokes are actually really, really important. So if we look back, again, I've already established, if I'm Harold, I should have established this. Every time you poke and GooGie blocks it, he pokes back. So let's watch this. Down. So GooGie down ones, Harold down ones back, GooGie down ones again. So what Harold has the, luxury of doing with Aaron Black is he's got a decently fast overhead and low string, so he doesn't strictly have to counter poke with his down one. Yes, GooGie can mash another down one probably before the lower the overhead option come out, but it's a good option if GooGie's waiting to block something to poke back. So he has an overhead and a low that he could be using a bit better to open up GooGie in those counter poke situations. And that's just blocking low when he had no reason to be blocking low. I suppose he could have feared the low sword.
Nah, you're hiding from the salt cannon.
Alright, let's go to the next one.
So, update the score.
So good conversion from Harold. Let's see what he does. So Harold's not adjusting his timing for delayed wake up, so needs to be a bit more slow and react to GooGie's wake up option. Tries to get out of the corner because obviously he don't want to be cornered. That time, alright, so I think that was the first time we've seen 1-1-4 air grab since the first match. So Harold's probably thought, alright, I know he down one. And as I said, noticing that GooGie used the down one. So Harold uses EX Sand. GooGie is a step ahead of Harold basically and says, you're going to armor because I down one last time, so I'm going to jump over you and punish you for it. So Harold's losing on reads at this point in this game.
Making really good reads or is getting good with the jumps. Plus 9 frames on that EX.
Alright. Jump jump one. Obviously not much you can do about that. I would definitely have not have broken if I was Harold. It's not a worthwhile investment at that point. So tries to down one in between the stagger string. And again, that stagger pressure can be difficult to deal with because you could mix in throws there, though GooGie hasn't at this point.
start up.
Oh, mixes his combo, which is a big drop because it gives GooGie his opportunity. Now he's cornered, and against Kotal, that's basically the end of the. Yeah, that's it.
Is that true?
What?
So if he's got like an 8
Oh,
frame
maybe
startup
not.
and he leaves him at -3
GooGie's
off the back one.
blocking is absolutely on point in this match. I'd
Back
say
one
he
is
must be
nice,
playing
so-
Harold a lot, so he knows how to block all of Harold's mix-ups or Aaron's strings
Straight
and
back into
all that stuff.
So now straight back into it. Here we go.
Good read with the armor, gets his bar back, worth using the bar in that instance.
So GooGie taking that nice, easy 36% one bar.
Feeling each other out with down ones, and that's not
Wow,
terrible
goes
from
in for the
Harold
sword.
counter
We
poking
haven't
with
seen that
2-1
yet.
into
He's
a
gonna get
mix-up,
some
but
nut on him now.
I don't know what the use of sword was there.
Tries to do an elbow smash on him. This isn't WWE.
And again, they're just counter poking with ones, and Harold's always counter poking with a stand 1 or a stand 2 or a down 1.
About not getting
When he could be using the overheads or the lows, or at least using 2-1-1, 2-2, a little bit more. If GooGie gets used to that, he can let go of block and blow up the high, but that's fine. At the very least, he gets a few mix-up options off the 2-1-1, 2-2 streak. Unless, of course, GooGie's
Thinking that was gonna be close, though.
well practiced in the timing. There's an option select timing to block the mix-ups, or avoid the mix-ups of Aaron's black 2-1-1, 2-2 into command grab, so if you release block and block again, you can actually avoid the throw option, as well as block the EX hand grenade or whatever he might do. So if you get that down, it's not so much of a mix-up.
Not sure what's happening there. Harold's just taking it. It's not the first time. Maybe badly timed backdash or something.
So again, a lot of very, I guess, one-for-one counter poking going on.
Or maybe crossed up inputs.
That doesn't necessarily need to be that way.
Comes out.
I haven't seen Harold throw once, which is a very, very good option in this
Tried to
game.
go back into pressure, but dropped it.
Very good for conditioning. I haven't seen GooGie throw once either, but Harold's eating the stagger strings anyway, so I guess he's not having too much issues there.
Starting on almost equal footing again. Actually, Aaron Black sitting on a breaker now. Aaron Black does have a breaker. Hopefully he uses it.
Oh,
Wow, okay.
bit of YOLO, but that's fine. You got away with it this time. Yep.
Getting off.
Jumping on
So Harold's trying to counter poke when he really shouldn't be, so GooGie just blows it up with armor.
Nah, I got work tomorrow morning. That's what yeah. One is around as well.
And that's it.
Okay, Edison again.
So GooGie, I think, is clearly making some much stronger reads than Harold is at this point. Harold's not asserting his dominance, I don't think, as much as he could be. He's not trying to dictate the match as much as GooGie is. Yeah, alright, he got the punish that time, that's good.
Oh, really?
My game plan would basically be to push Kotal to the corner and try to keep the pressure going, get your caltrops down when you can. Because he doesn't have the best options. Like I said, he's got that one arm move that can be quite easily baited.
Take it easy. Good seeing you.
Not sure why GooGie used meter on that one there.
Yeah. Gets a jump in one again. Now, if he wanted... he
Stagger
hit
strings
that
are
bar as well.
absolutely
He
blowing
could
up
use
Harold,
the
so
extra.
he's
There it is.
trying to hit
Doesn't
buttons
get a
when
combo off, but still gets the low starter, misses
Kotal
the
is
start.
actually, I think, -5
Gets
after the
one,
back
one,
one.
one.
So he can poke, but Harold's just too slow to
And
poke.
the commando. You off as well? Take it easy, guys.
That and Aaron Black's pokes are quite slow as they are. So not sure what Harold was trying to do doing a down one into sword. Sword's not safe.
Alright, good seeing you again, boys.
Oh god, that hurts to watch.
Alright, Kotal closes out that round. Very, very close.
Alright, so Harold had a pretty good chance there, but
Was-
unfortunately
it was
dropped
not
that
just
round.
That round was being
And he's kind of forgotten about his command grab once again. I think he actually would get away with quite a few command grabs in this instance. So even down one, even reversaling. So if he uses a down one, forces GooGie to poke back because GooGie pokes back every time in this instance, and then reversaling that command grab, I think could be a good option as well.
Punishing that gap on that 1-2-2 more now.
Yep, he's...
I think GooGie would pick up on that pretty quick, but it's still an option at least once.
Sub-Zero.
And again, he's blocking low when GooGie is waking up, which is not smart because of the overhead EX armor.
And it's chip damage, chip
And
territory,
that's
no
it.
matter what.
And GooGie's taking it again.
Here we go, there
So
he
let's
is,
see if
Sword with
Harold
the controller. That's
can
game
pull something out of
match,
his
first to five.
behind.
Oh wait, no, first to 10. First to 10.
Because right now he's not making too many adjustments. He's dropping some of his combos and he's not picking up. He's
Boys are thinking
too
about
far behind
now.
on the reads. So GooGie, I guess, is already established in games prior some of Harold's habits and is exploiting it. So Harold's changing characters now. I'm not sure. I haven't watched this far into the video, so
Here we
I'll
are.
be as surprised as you all are.
Just going to be talking about Sub-Zero
Yeah,
and
yeah.
how all other Sub-Zeros are shit.
He relates
I think he
everything.
also has a venomous
Right,
Devourer
yeah.
from memory.
Oh, snap! Do we see a hype?
Is he actually going to pick Goro? I know he was talking to me about Goro on the Facebook group the other day. I don't know if he actually has a Goro or not. Oh, he's gone with my advice and he's playing Dragon Fangs. Alright, let's see what happens here. So GooGie's played my Goro, so I don't know. Not against Kotal. Goro v Kotal, I think is fairly heavily, not heavily, maybe 6-4 Goro in my opinion. I think it's very good for Goro. Dragon Fangs eats the jump in one. Once Kotal is cornered, Goro can apply ridiculous amounts of pressure to him with no issues. So let's see what he's doing. So he confirms into low fang, which could have been a punch walk, which could have taken him to the corner. You want corner carry basically all the time when you're using Goro. EX punch walk. Alright, what's he doing? He should be in his face.
That's right. Yes, yes. The sound
Goro
is
is
very,
significantly
very
better
distinct, isn't it?
up close than he is at long range. So he definitely
Big
just
prison 'cause you're gonna get
wants to
shanked
be in
with
there.
Kotal Kahn.
So forward dashes after the end of a combo is quite useful for Goro.
Kotal Kahn is the
I'm not
leader of
necessarily
the
sure
outlaw
on
for a
the hit
reason.
advantage
He
of
was
punch walk because I don't tend to
before.
finish with punch walk. They're either finishing in the corner because I'm taking to the corner or I'm finishing in choke and grab.
There we go.
And 2 dashes
There's the
forward
conversion.
can typically get you right back in there pretty easily after the command grab. So let's see what he's doing. He goes for the low. Goro doesn't necessarily need to go for the low overhead all the time. He's got good plus frames. He can force people to guess when to poke out or when to jump out.
Does he have a combo?
Alright, so he's got a good basic combo, that's fine. So he could do like back 1-2-1 to get plus frames, for example. Lots to the overhead. Unfortunately, that overhead's not very good. It whiffs a lot. Hopefully he doesn't go for full combo. No, he misses the command grab though.
Yeah, some of us are getting up for the.
So this isn't looking too good. I'm expecting he wants to teleport. Yep. Now GooGie will wake up armor, maybe? No. Now he'll armor. And that's it.
Kotal with the advancing quick restart, another one.
So I think Harold needs to understand that when he's in Kotal's face, he's actually in a pretty good position.
Sorry, Harold, I didn't mean it. Like that, honestly.
Because punch walk quite safely blows through a lot of his stagger pressure,
Sorry.
unless it's super hard read and Kotal jumps over. So blowing through the counter poke with EX punch walk's good. Though he has to keep in mind that the EX Fang Spin is a very good option for anti-air. So making sure he has some meter for that's always useful.
So, what did I miss?
In this position I'd be looking to get out of the corner either by throwing or using the tree. So he's now just going for strings into the low fang, which is fine I suppose. And that's going to be it for this round.
And here he is. Close out that round.
So we'll see what he can pull out.
AKA Gerald.
So he's got a good down 4 as well. I mean, he could be cancelling his pokes into punch walk from time to time to blow up GooGie trying to counter poke him. There is a bit of a
I get confused with my plus and
bit of a mind game to be played when you're cancelling pokes, punch walk off of pokes. And down 1's so good for that because it's got such good range, and down 4 as well. And at certain ranges off the down 4, the down 4 into punch walk actually jails. Aside from that, you can actually armor through all of those options. Alright, good. He could have got meterless damage, but that's fine. He's got his combo. I'll be opting for plus frames again. Nope.
Had the bait, but then went for the setup, and there he is again.
So a fairly like stock standard thing you can do with Goro in the corner is go for your plus frames. So back 1-2-1, for example, or just 1-1. Straight into down 1 punch walk is a decent option. Reason being, if they jump out, down 1 will catch them, the punch walk will catch them. So Harold's obviously not too comfortable sticking with Goro for that match, so he swaps out to Katana. Also, imagine this would be in Katana's favour. I don't know how much of a Katana Harold has, but we'll see. At this point, it's pretty far in GooGie's favour, 7-0. So I think this is actually a first to 13, not a first to 10. Yeah. So we're about
Hugh
halfway through.
Jackman was here. Was Hugh Jackman
So
playing
again,
Mortal
keeping
Kombat?
that full screen presence would be great,
Just put Pizzarocket.
Yeah.
because Kotal has a harder time getting through shit like
Does he
instant
prefer
air
a
fans,
capital
for
R
example.
on Pizzarocket?
So we'll see what Harold does. He's opting to stay in his face, which confuses me a little bit,
Do we want
but that's fine.
the live
He could be playing it significantly more lame.
salt cam?
How do you put the salt cam on?
Don't worry, just go full game. Alright, so
GooGie jumping over to bait the armor again. Harold's getting very, very wake up happy. He needs to take a minute to breathe and realize that probably about 1% of his EX wake ups have worked. So he needs to hold his meter and be a bit more
it's
patient.
not as good.
Not as
See,
good. The range
Yeah.
of that sword.
So, so GooGie's sitting in a range.
Puts input shortcuts on.
So that you can do instant air fans?
No more jokes now.
Well, let's have a look, see if this helps Harold at all.
Shortcuts on,
Yep.
And gets hit.
So I thought the same thing as GooGie. Now that he's switched his controls, he's probably getting instant air fan at that range
Get out of it. Don't get
immediately, and Harold did. So GooGie runs in with the armor, which is smart.
You're abandoning me. Okay. Nah,
So
go-
committing
go
to the
play-
meter when he didn't have to necessarily.
Go play Abby.
And again, this is
Alright.
just Harold being overwhelmed by Kotal's pressure
So, what was
and
that?
not establishing his position on the screen, which is the most important thing. Establishing where you want to be. And you can see he's moving back. He wants to, again, waking up impatiently. He wants to be full screen. He's trying to get back, but he's not asserting that position. He's just walking back and giving GooGie ground as opposed to keeping GooGie at the range that he wants him to be at.
Trouble getting through it.
So again, counterpoke, counterpoke. Nothing much going on there. GooGie's just pressuring with no troubles. Okay, Harold doesn't have corner combos.
Anyway,
GooGie's contesting with the frames.
so Harold's
He's down 4.
been able to get a bit of damage
And things just aren't looking too strong for Harold right now.
Combo, then you dropped it. What happened?
So he's just let GooGie get in. He could have, yep, he
Okay.
could have EX
Another
armored
EX
the jump in
gets
2.
Blocked and punished.
Could have been a good
35
anti-air to
damage,
establish
gets out of the
his full
corner,
screen game.
more
Because I think
pressure,
most
yep,
of Katana's
course, the
combos
down one.
end by pushing them pretty far away.
Got to expect that since 114.
Except
into
save
air
the
grab
meter
ends up
and then
close.
use it on wake up again. So understanding
wow. Disrespect.
understanding the frequency of your wake up attempts or the frequency of success on your wake up attempts is important, because if you know that someone's reading you, or if even if you can't in the moment think, oh my god, they're getting really good reads on me, at least in your head think, alright, did I get punished that time? Did I not? And if you got punished significantly more times for waking up with armor
Oh, nice.
than
We
you
got
didn't,
Venomous Devourer
then it's
now.
probably a pretty good sign that you should stop trying to wake up with armor, because the person that you're playing against understands that you're going to wake up every time. And especially, I guess, with Katana, the potential damage and screen positioning you get from her EXDP is quite good. But 5 out of 5 attempts, I think, were
Alright,
were
we'll see
blocked.
if,
So at that point, you would definitely
character
need to
switch
stop.
does much for Harold.
So Harold is
another back
venomous,
1, 2,
has
2
some good
into
pokes to outrange
chainsaw,
Kotal.
however you want to call it.
In this sort of mid-range,
Chop.
so the range that we're just in, Kotal's at the advantage, but
Oh,
I think
nice
Devourer
armor
has some
out.
quite good
Shame Devourer
tools
doesn't
to
get much.
stop the run. So now that he's
Here
in bug
comes
spray,
the
he needs
mix-up.
to do what he
Chip
can
damage.
to
And good
basically
block.
50-50
Oh, no idea why
GooGie
that
to
didn't
death,
hit.
because that's
Well,
what
forces breaker,
Venomous does
always
best.
good and gets a restand there.
So get some down
Goes
4s
to
in there, try and
low.
build some tick damage. So he's got some quite decent damage off only a couple of hits.
Ouch.
Again, man, it hurts. Harold's getting blown up because he's trying to wake up with armor in situations where it's not going to work.
Oh wow. Very smart EX launcher there from GooGie.
I mean, that time it
Good
works,
anti-air
but it's
using
still
meter
not the
there,
best
but
investment for meter
once
with
again,
Devourer.
Doesn't really
Venomous
get too
doesn't
much off
necessarily
it,
need the
probably
meter
one of
all
the
that
weaknesses
much,
of
but there's
Devourer in
definitely better
general.
ways that that meter could have been used.
How it gets thrown into the corner.
But to stop the jump
And
in, maybe to get him
punished.
off, maybe it is a good idea, but clearly
This is
it's
gonna
not
be chip.
helped in the long run
Yep,
in this
there we go,
in this
and yet
particular
another
instance. Pardon me.
Every match, GooGie.
So we're up to the 10-0. 3 more matches. We'll see if Harold sticks with Venomous Devourer. I think he's got a decent chance. Venomous will have a hard time keeping Kotal off once Kotal's on,
Okay.
but he's got
So
some good
currently at
tools to
10-0,
keep him out when he
but it
tries
is
to
the
run
best
in,
of
for
13,
example.
so
Unless
we'll see
GooGie
if
runs
Harold
in with
can
armor
still
to
bring
try
it
and
back.
blow up the down 4, for example. So that's good.
And
I'd like to see
is this
Harold
the start?
throw
No.
more. Venomous
Mix-up doesn't go that
really,
well.
really
Eats the X launcher.
benefits from the
Force the
throw
break.
more than a lot of characters. She's got great pokes to
GooGie once
complement
again
it,
using Kotal's
and she's got a
fast
decent run
normals
speed.
to open him up for a grab.
Whoa, I don't know what's going on here. I think that's just the YouTube video. So again, I think I've seen Harold throw a total of 0 times in this whole set, and throws are so
Eats the
good
low
in
there.
this game that it's
Unfortunate
not worth
to have
not
to
using
start
them
off with
to
a
help
1-0 up.
condition your opponent and help make them guess when you're trying to poke and things like that. So there would have been a very good opportunity for Harold to jump over and get out, but now he's still in the corner with only Devora's terrible armor to
Good
help
work
him.
from Harold to jump out of the corner
So
there
good
and break
tech.
the throw as well, not just get thrown back
Bad
in
armor again.
there. But now he's getting comboed.
Harold, if you watch this, man,
35%.
stop waking up.
Sort of hurts. And
That's it.
the overheads die. That's
So let's see if he sticks it out with Venomous.
11-0 now.
Oh, don't know what that was. Yeah, that's good. Oh,
nice
good.
whiff punish
Decent
there
punish.
from
Not worth using the meter on, I don't think, myself.
Eats the overhead.
You could
though.
have run in with, for
And
example,
double low
1-1
mix-up.
back 2 into a bit more
Good work from
damage, but that's
GooGie to
fine.
use the EX launcher.
So GooGie's pretty much jumped over like
But I'm just
99%
watching
of the
this,
time.
it's like,
So if Harold changed up what he's doing when he wakes up, could be very, very good for him. There we go. He's finally learnt to throw. That's good. Oh. Oh, he could have just... Yep, alright, he's got it. There we go. Harold gets that right.
nice work to convert off the air to air.
So Devora's got some pretty easy converts off
Come
of
on,
ed
Harold.
airs, so
Really
it's
get
a
at
good
least one.
situation for
Come on.
him. Now it's bad times. So now that GooGie's sat there and eaten forward 1-1-2 into puddle, I imagine next time he's going to armor on reaction. I can't see GooGie falling for that twice.
Ouch.
And I think Harold would know that. The GooGie picks up on these things quite quickly. Dominant rounds. GooGie with the meter advantage and the position advantage. So it's going to be tough for Harold to bring this. Oh, very nice. Down
Harold
one
actually just
into
commented
the
that
forward
GooGie
1-1.
always seems to have meter.
There we go.
It's very true.
Good. He's building up some Venom stacks because he had the forward 2-2 and then the throw. Very nice.
Oh, nice. Baiting
Now he's
up the
getting
grab
that
there.
serious Venom going. Yeah,
And
very nice.
36% damage. Is it still doing chip from Venom as well?
Okay, you ate at that
Oh,
time, but that's fine.
Harold
Oh
get
my
this?
god, he could have used EX spray. Alright, so in that instance,
Yeah,
if he
I
used
believe he
EX
can.
bug spray, that probably would have been it.
Yeah!
Very nice down one. And Harold gets his first game of the set. I think Harold was backing up because he wanted to be able to deal with the
What?
jump in. But
11
unfortunately, Kotal's jump one is such good range that it made it difficult. So Harold's actually getting some pretty decent blocks on GooGie's pressure.
Wow. GooGie, no respect.
But he gets
Just
opened up
farmers
most
through the
when
mix-up.
GooGie does a string into the
What's
EX
that?
overhead for
You
whatever
got
reason.
plus frames?
I think he's always reacting to block low.
Yeah, and converts off the anti-air uppercut. I approve. No,
Very
as
dominant
someone
round
who
by
does that
GooGie.
myself, I approve of anti-air uppercuts into combos.
Oof. Difficult range to ensure the
Okay,
4-2 is going to
so
work, so maybe not the best decision, but that's fine. Get some decent damage off EX spray. Now he should be using those down 4s, for example, and he's
Okay, lots of really, really fast poking games.
to
here. We got,
sorry, to
like,
keep Kotal's run
one pokes,
from
one pokes
going.
back,
So
one pokes
I don't
back
like the
again.
use of the armor, especially with Devora.
Oh, we got
And see, he could have got a
final
1-1 back
punish
2
from
there,
Harold
for example, into
And
about
he gets
25 or
mix-up going,
30%.
Gets a grab.
It's
That's
good, he's getting
more
his throws
poison
in.
tick as well.
Which
Good
is help,
block.
like, see, the threat of
And is
throw
that gonna be the
amongst
round?
all your other
Yes, it
stuff
is.
helps
Wow.
pressure the
Harold,
opponent
come back.
into committing to things like armor. when they're afraid they can't deal with the throw or potential normals all in the
Okay,
same
good
instance.
converter off of
So armor's a good option to
NJP.
deal with both, but it's
And
a
now he's
very, very
leaving some
hard
good
read.
chip.
And especially when you have
Gets
armor
thrown
like
into the
Kotal's,
corner
which is
there.
quite unsafe, it's not always the best option. So Harold using his
Okay,
throws is
GooGie's
helping
starting his pressure
condition
game
GooGie
again.
further and giving him some better opportunities, which is why I was really,
Harold's
really
able
wanting
to
to see
force
lots of
his way
throws
out
with
there.
Tefora, which he's starting to do, which is very, very
GooGie's
good.
got full meter though, so it's
No,
any hit that he does get is now gonna hurt. There we go.
yeah,
There's
that's
the
good
EX
read by
armored
GooGie.
launcher. 27.
Not much more. Oh, he could, yeah. If he
Is that
finished
gonna be a
the,
death?
if he did the
Almost.
1-1-2 into EX bug spray, that would have been it.
That's it.
There he goes. He
Okay,
gets
so
another round.
Harold's now on 2.
So it's looking a little bit better for Harold. Still thinks he could be doing a little bit better, but that's fine. 1-1, yep, good. Nice convert. That was a good read, though I'm
Rare
still
footage of
still would have preferred the
Devora's,
block. A bit more
armor
patience.
being good.
Yeah, so I think Harold's crouch blocking because he wants to down one to anti-air, but Kotal was just not in that range, making it hard for him. Unfortunately, misses that. Just at the slight less than max range for that convert, so it didn't come off.
No. I'm hearing Reptile. I'm like, what the fuck? Who plays Reptile?
So again, using a lot of his meter
Who the fuck plays Reptile?
on the EX Ovipositor.
Yeah. Anyway.
Again, I think if he doubled up on down fours in a few of those instances, he'd be getting a little
yet
bit more
another jump
damage,
in for GooGie.
and it
That
could help him
jump in
basically
one is
open up the chance to do
insane.
forward twos.
GooGie's been using it a lot.
So
he had
her down
cross
four at
up,
max
jump in
range, even on
one,
block,
long
is not the
range,
worst thing in
jump
the world.
one.
So if you get one
Oh,
on
good
hit,
air tag.
doing another one is
Okay, nice
not a terrible
70%,
option. You
gets
might lose your
the
turn,
throw attempt.
but it's not the end of the world, because if it hits, you get
Oh,
that
yeah,
venom
so
stack.
this is set
If
point
not,
as
you
well
just
now.
have to respect the opponent's aggression.
Championship, let's not
And
get
if it
ahead
hits
of
the second
ourselves
time in the
here.
row, then that opens up your ability to do, for example, down four into forward two in the future. So it's all about conditioning. Yeah, so
back
these
and
down
forth in the
fours
post.
into the sword
GooGie
attacks
lands
are
the
catching
overhead
Harold off guard
low,
because he sees the
and
down
changes
four and then
pressure
tries
more.
to counter poke. So again, strong
Nice
message
punish
again
there.
that
Oh, X-ray.
you
Is
don't
this
have
gonna
to
be
just
death?
counter poke every time. You have options.
I believe it is. Nah,
So
it
I don't
will
think
be.
that'll kill. No.
Oh, okay.
But
Well,
yeah, okay,
there
that's
we
good.
go. Midi low.
I would have said
No
forward
chance
one,
of
but that
getting
works
out of
just
that.
as well.
Okay.
And GooGie feeling a bit
Dust
pressured
under
using his
the-
armor, even though he didn't have the health to survive the
Okay.
hit. So that's good for Harold. Oof. No run up
Yeah,
for the back
another
two. There
launcher
would have been
from
a gap
GooGie.
anyway. GooGie sees that.
Consistent damage coming up there.
Oh, nice. Let go of block to avoid the throw, but unfortunately couldn't capitalize. I think Harold's been using the EX Ovipositor in basically the same situation every time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, see, it's still, especially when he's got that much health left, trading a bar for like
GooGie really
12%
does always
is
have a
really,
meter
really not worth it.
ready for that EX launcher. I'm just
Having like
watching
2 to 3
meter
bars with
generation, and it's
Venomous
like
Devourer,
that back 1-2-2
and
every time
saving
meter
that for
gets
EX
blocked,
spray is actually
normally
super
is
strong.
building a fair chunk.
So I'd like to see him go in, yep. Nice.
Yeah.
Again, could have got 1-1 back too. He's
from
really got to
Harold.
maximize his meterless punishes, I think,
Doesn't get much through poison, but
because
he's
he
still
needs
able to get
more
some
meter
damage.
to help him in situations later on down the track.
Being forced to the corner,
You should never really invest meter when you don't need to.
and a sweep. Not often you see one
No.
of those.
Alright, that's going to be it. And
And
that's 13-2
that's it. 13-0.
to GooGie. So that was a fairly quick 30 minutes. I was expecting to pause and do some things a little more, but I think it was all fairly self-explanatory. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. If anyone else has any comments they want to make on Harold or GooGie's gameplay, feel free to leave comments below. This will be posted in the Facebook group as well. So Harold, you're not going to miss out. You'll be tagged. You'll see the video. but seriously, I think it's definitely worth the watch. So if you know anyone that might need some general advice, maybe even if it's just general advice against Kotal, send them this video. There'll be a few tips along the way, and hopefully the gameplay is nice and enjoyable for you. So make sure to check out the rest of Googie's YouTube channel because he posted a few other exhibitions that are worth watching recently with this upload. And always keep a lookout there in the future because he'll be posting more of his online tournament footage as well as Melbourne locals. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next time.